So I'm going to go back to STEM. I'm going to double click on the blue line. It takes me to this deployment dialog. You can also get there from the resource. It's what this does. Resource deployment, which we skipped, also takes you to the same dialog. And basically, the so-called one-for-one distribution, it literally means you need to have at least one at each site. But it doesn't do anything more than that. So that distribution gives you this part of the curve, but it doesn't really care what happens later.
Okay.
I haven't got time to go through all of these, but I'll show you just two more. There's one called homogeneous, which assumes the customers turn up in equal numbers at each site. And that looks like this. I do one card times 25, wait for them to fill up. I then buy another card at each site and another at each site. It's a bit unrealistic, but you can see what's going on.
Right.
What you really want is something where you start off with one everywhere, but then rather than them all being exactly the same, you'd expect some of them to fill up sooner and some of them to fill up later. And really what you expect is you'd start here, but then have something which tracks some way above the pink line, because as you say, at any point in time, it's about 8 times 25. You should be looking for an overhead of about 200 ports. Fortunately, we've thought of that, and there is a thing. I don't ask you to explain the name; that'll take too long. But it's called Extended Monte Carlo, and if I run that, then you'll see what we get is pretty much what I just said. So it gives you one each to start with, but then before you reach the point where they're all full, basically you expect one of your sites to be a hot site and some of your sites to be cooler sites, and your hot site needs the second card before some of the others. And from this point on, it basically tracks with just a generic overhead. And as you can see, the size of the overhead is about 200. It's literally 8 being half a card times 25 being the number of sites.
Right.
So that's the, if you like, that's the third dimension. You've got your capacity, you've got your lifetime, but you've also got how many sites, because it really matters.
Yeah.